गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Okay, I am learning how to play harmonium, so please bear with me when it sounds bad. I'm going to try. Okay. Varnana Navdasanana Rasana Chandaran Sandaran Varnana Navdasanana Rasana Chandaran Vande Vani Vinaya Shankaran Vande Radham Deshwasaram Shankaran Sure, you can try playing for the next part, the Sumiran. We'll chant Sumiran as well. Jo Sumirat Siddhi Ganana Saroruhasyam Taruna Aruna Bharjanayana Karau Sumama Uradhama Sada Chira Sagara Sayana Kunda Indra Samadeha Kumaramana Karunayana Shahidina Paraneha Karau Kripamadanamayana Vandau Gurapadakanja Kripa Sindhu Nararupa Mahamohatamapunja Shasubachan Rabi Karanikara Shasubachan Rabi Karanikara Shasubachan Rabi Karanikara Hari Om. Okay, So we are going to be doing from today the section in Ramayana called Sita Apaharan. It is the kidnapping of Sitaji. Sitaji is going to kidnap today, right? Now, this class is starting new today, but it has also been going on for 5 or 6 years now. So it is old and yet new at the same time. We will be picking up from this section in Aranya Kanda, where Marich has just been informed by Ravana that he has no choice but to go and pretend he is a golden deer to lure Sri Ram away. Otherwise, Ravana will kill him. So Marich is now faced with a dilemma. Well, I either die at the hands of Ravana or I die at the hands of Bhagavan Sri Rama. And if I die at the hands of Bhagavan Sri Ram, I will get moksha. And if I die at the hands of Ravana, well, nothing happens. So, in a simple decision, he decides to follow the plan that Ravana has made. Now, I'll tell you a little bit before we continue about where exactly this story fits in the Aranya Kanda. Aranya Kanda is the third canto in Ramayana. It's the third Kanda. Balkand has finished, where Bhagavan Sri Ram was born and grew up and got married. Then Ayodhya Kanda came, where he was banished to the forest, and all the prasangas leading up to his settling in the forest, Bharatji coming, Ram Bharat Milap, all of that happens in Ayodhya Kanda. Once everything has settled and Bharatji has gone back to Ayodhya, then Aranya Kanda starts. Aranya Kanda is where Bhagavan Sri Rama and Sitaji and Lakshmanji spend most of their time in the forest. Aranya Kanda is this. Aranya means forest, if you didn't know that. Aranya means forest, and the forest symbolizes the forest of delusion, the forest of confusion in our life. And actually, the forest, when you hear forest, it's supposed to be a place where you go for peace and solitude and refuge. And in Vanaprastha, people go there. But there's animals there, there's no clear path, and so many perils are there in the forest, right? Here in the Ramayana, there are Rakshasas. Literally, physical Rakshasas are there. But when we go to the forest, we have to face our own inner demons also, right? When we are alone, we have to come face to face with our own demons. So this Aranya Kanda is almost like an outer expression of our inner experience of meeting our own selves in our forest of samsara. So this Kanda had started with Jayant trying to test the power of Bhagavan Sri Ram, and it was unmatched. There's nothing to test. Then we saw how Bhagavan Sri Ram has met so many saints, and we've also seen how many Rakshasas he's come across and removed out of and killed and all of that. And in a dramatic turn of events, we saw Karadushan and their whole army being destroyed, Shurpanaka's nose being cut off, Shurpanaka going to Ravana and making stories. We saw how Ravana thought that she told him that, I wanted to get this beautiful princess for you because no one else deserves to have her. And Ravana gets enamored by the thought of Sitaji, but he also has a thought that goes along with it. And that thought is, well, if this Rama is really Bhagavan, like everybody is saying, then if I capture Sita and he comes to get her and he kills me, then I'll get moksha, right? And if he's an ordinary person, then I'll get the princess. This is called win-win from Treta Yuga coming down. It's not invented now in business terms. It's been going on forever. This win-win philosophy, right? So Ravana goes to Marich and he tells him about this whole plan he's come up with. Everyone knows the story of Ramayana, so you know the plan, right? And Marich tells him, look, Marich is a Rakshasa who Lord Rama met when Lord Rama was a young teenager. He met him, and with a headless arrow, he hit Marich, and Marich flew to the other side of Bharat, and he never stopped thinking about Bhagavan Sri Ram or Lakshmana. He didn't die; he lived with the thought, right? So, thinking about Bhagavan Ram all the time, he was transformed. His life was transformed. And so he told Ravana, do you know who Bhagavan Ram is? you're making a mistake. Like, don't mess with him. He's not an ordinary person. He's Bhagavan, you know? But when somebody has a big ego, they don't listen. So he didn't listen, and he gave Marich that ultimatum that I told you, right? In all of this, what you see about Marich is that he had developed chitta ekagrata, single pointedness on Bhagavan Sri Ram. And as a result of that, he had become a bhakta. His life was totally transformed by his single pointedness. His fear of Bhagavan did not allow his mind to leave Bhagavan. And that fear ended up removing all fear. You'll see he had no fear of death also as a result of that. So now Marich decides he's going to go and take the form of the golden deer. But before this, one really important thing that happened that I want to mention, just a few chopais prior to where we will start, is Bhagavan Sri Rama tells Sitaji, now he has to go and do Naralila. He's going to do Naralila. Means he's going to go and demonstrate the life of a human being, an ordinary person. He's going to show what that looks like. He has some work to do in that regard. And so he gives Sitaji to Agni Devata to stay safe. And out of Agni Devata, Sitaji goes into Agni Devata and he takes care of her for the year. And out of Agni comes Maya Sita. Maya Sita is an illusory Sita that looks and talks and acts exactly the same way, but it is not real Sita. In Tulsi Ramayana, this is a special thing that it is not real Sita that goes through the rest of Ramayana. It is Maya Sita. So the Sita that we are going to meet today is not the regular Sita Maya, it is Maya Sita Maya. There's a difference between the two that not everyone knows about. So just wanted everyone to know that is what has happened. And now we will pick up from, let me see what Doha this is. I'm saying pick up. It's been like almost a year. Let's see. This will be after number 26 in Aranya Kanda. You can open your Ramayana if you want. You can open it online. I had sent the PDF in the WhatsApp group also for anyone who wants to follow. In the PDF, it's page number 703. It might be around, I don't know in your book what page, it might be around there, right? It's Doha number 26 in Aranya Kanda. If you're not sure how to find it, I can show you after classes. One. Here. From, if you're reading the English, from right there. Okay. Okay, everyone found it? Okay, let's chant. The harmonium will wait till next week. Baby steps every week. I'll add like one thing and try and get it right and then keep adding. Okay, let's chant together. You can play. 1, 2, 3. Tehi banane katadasanana gayo tabamari chakapata mriga bhayo ati vichitra kachuvarani na chai Kanaka deha mani rachita banai Sita paramaruchira mriga dekha Anga anga sumanohara vesha Sunahudev Raghuvira Kripala Ehi Mriga Karahati Sundara Chala Satya Santha Prabhu Bali Kali Ehi Anahu Charma Kahati Vedehi Tava Raghupati Janata Sabakaran Uthe Harashi Surakaju Savaran Mrigabiloki kati parikara badha karatala chaparo chira sarasada Prabhu Lachiman ikaha samuchai Hirata bipina nisichara bahu bhai Sita keri kare hurakhavari Buddhi viveka bala samaya vichari प्रभु ही बिलो की चला मृग भाजी आए राम सरासन साजी निगम नीति सिव ध्यान न पावा माया मृग पाचे सोधावा कबहु निकट पुनि दूरी पराई कबहु प्रगति कबहु छपाई प्रगटत दुरत करत छल पूरी एहि विधि प्रभु ही गयो लय दूरी तब तकी राम कठिन सर मारा धरनी परेउ करी घोर पुकारा लक्ष्मण कर प्रथम हिले नाम पाछे सुमिर सि मन महुराम प्राण तजत प्रगटिसि निज देहा सुमिरे सि राम समेत स्नेहा अंतर प्रेम तासु पहिचाना मुनि दुर्लभ गति दीनि सुजाना विपुल सुमन सुर बर शही गावहि प्रभु गुण गाथ निज पद दीन असुर कहू दीन बंधु रघुनाथ सिया वर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. Okay, so now what happens? Tehi banan nikata dasanana gayo. Now the Sanana, our 10-headed Ravana, went there near where they were in the forest. Taba Maricha kapata mriga bhayo. And then Marich became an illusory false deer. On Ravana's instruction, everybody knows that story, right? So he had surrendered to his fate. He knew he had no choice but to die. Either Bhagavan Sri Rama will kill me or Ravana will kill me. And so he had thought just before this, well, if I go, then Bhagavan Sri Rama will have to come behind me. He will run behind me. I will get to turn. I will get to look at him. I will get to see him. I will watch him release the arrow on me. And so you see Marich doing reflection on how wonderful it would be to be in the presence of Bhagavan Ram, how Bhagavan Ram can be with him at the time that he's dying. And we saw in that prasanga how actually Marich had become a bhakta, pure bhakta he had become by then. Right? So he had no fear of death. See how wonderful? His fear of Bhagavan Rama took away even his fear of death. If you want to be afraid of anything, be afraid of Bhagavan and he will remove all your fear. No, but our tradition doesn't teach us to be God-fearing. Huh? That's just in case you want that kind of thing. In the rare circumstance you want to be Marich. But otherwise you have to be God-loving. Anyways, Ati Bichitra, Kachu Barani na jai. Now Tulsidasji starts to describe the deer. It was most wonderful, and it could not be described. So beautiful it could not be described. Imagine now if it has to captivate Sitaji's mind, how beautiful it must be. Kanaka deha mani rachita banai. It was studded with jewels as though. Means it was like glistening, right? And then Sita Parama Ruchira Mriga Dekha. Now Sitaji saw this most beautiful, wonderful deer. Anga Anga Sumanohara Besha. And she looked and saw every limb of its captivating form. You know, Sitaji would have seen countless deer. She's been in the forest for like 13 years now. She didn't see deer. Every day there would have been seeing deer going up and down and everything. But there was something special about this deer. And that thing caught her eye. And she didn't just look at it and say, wow. She looked at every part of this deer. Every limb, she saw how beautiful it was. Oh, his nose is so cute. His tail is so cute. His legs are so cute. Oh, she would have studied this deer. And this is, oh, I didn't tell. This section in Ramayana of Sitaji is a demonstration of the verse in Bhagavad Gita where Bhagavan Sri Krishna demonstrates the ladder of fall, where a person broods or meditates on an object, develops attachment for it, develops desire for it, and then that desire leads to anger, and it goes on until that person perishes. Sitaji is demonstrating that for us here. She's the mother of the universe. She teaches by demonstration also, right? So she demonstrates that exactly over here, how that verse proceeds. So Tulsidasji describes how she looked at every limb. You know, when you're going to buy something online, I don't know, or if you go to the store and you want to buy something, well, you look at every angle on it. I mean, on Amazon, people who shop online, they click and they look at what it looks like from the front, from the back, from the side, and this color and that color, 360 degrees. They watch people using it. They read the reviews. You study it in every way possible. If you go to a store here to buy something, also, you come to the bookstore, you read the back, you look at the front, you wonder, you think about it, you look at it from every point of view. So as she broods on it and she thinks about how wonderful it is, her mind gets caught and captivated. Now she feels, if I don't get this deer, my life will not be okay. Till now, her conviction was, if I have Ram, I have everything. Once I have Bhagavan Sri Ram, that's all. I don't need anything else. She had said that was her argument to come from Ayodhya with Bhagavan Sri Ram, right? But now her story has changed. She says, Sunahu Deva, listen, O Deva, first name. Raghubira, oh no, yeah, Raghubira, O Raghuvir, O hero among Raghus, Kripala, compassionate one. 3 names she calls him. Now, if somebody comes and calls you 3 names, sweetheart, dear, sugar, you know they want something. You know that they're coming for something, right? What is it that they're coming for? She says, Ehi mriga kara ati sundara chala. This deer, his skin is so beautiful. That is what she says to Bhagavan Sri Ram. He has extremely beautiful skin. Now, in the olden days, when rishis were in the Himalayas or out in the forest, the deer skin is considered very very good for meditation because you sit on it and it helps with the energy and all of that. But they used to wait for when the deer dies naturally, then they used to take the skin of it, not go and kill it, right? Now she's eyeing the skin of this deer. And she says, Satya Sandha, Prabhu, O Prabhu, you are once you have said something, that thing comes true. You're true to your word like that, right? And she says, Satya Sandha Prabhu, Bhadi Kari Ehi. I want you to go and kill this deer. And Anahu Charma Kahati Vaidehi. And I want you to bring the skin of this deer for me. Vaidehi said. Now this, in other Ramayanas, the description is given that I want you to capture it and bring it so I can play with it. And then there's, if you can't catch it, then you kill it and bring it. Like that, right? But this is quite uncharacteristic of Sitaji to say this kind of thing. I want you to go and kill the deer and bring it for me. Very uncharacteristic of her to want anything also, right? But see, from the higher standpoint, as Jagat Janani, she knows Maricha's desire. Maricha's desire for Bhagavan Sri Rama to run behind him and to kill him. So she's telling Bhagavan Sri Ram, go and fulfill this desire of your devotee. Go, like that. Why will he just go and get up and run behind a deer otherwise? So she's telling him, go and fulfill the desire of your devotee. Then, it is also demonstrating the power of Maya. Because now she's Maya Sita, right? Not real Sita. So you see the power of Maya, you see the power of desire, what it does to a person. All thinking goes out the window, right? And remember, Sitaji is also playing a Leela. Mother of the universe is teaching us all these things that are going to be happening. So that's some of the reasons. I mean, y'all can go on thinking about it also. Why she would have said, go and kill it and bring it, not just go and bring it for me. Taba Raghupati Janata Saba Karana. Then Bhagavan Sri Ram knew. He understood everything. He knew what was going on. Uthe Harashi Surakaju Savaran. And he got up happily to go and do the work of the Devatas. He did not go to fulfill Sitaji's desire. Tulsidasji doesn't write, he went to go and fulfill her desire. Right? And you'll hear our Swamiji says, well, Bhagavan Sri Rama also couldn't fulfill the desire of his wife. Desires are unfulfillable. Not only for a wife or jiva, any jiva, Bhagavan himself cannot fulfill their desire. He didn't come back with that deer, with that skin. He killed him, but he didn't come back with it. So, showing very clearly, Bhagavan's intention was not to go and fulfill her desire when he got up. He got up to go and do the work of the Devatas. What was the work of the Devatas? To set this whole thing in motion, to have a reason to now go and kill Ravana. That's what the Devatas wanted. Right? So now, Mriga biloki kati parikara badha karatala chapa ruchira sarasatha. Now, this deer saw that Bhagavan Sri Rama has tied his cloth, right? And he has taken his bow and his arrow in his hand, and he's fitted a beautiful arrow in his bow. He's ready to come and run behind him now. Now see, just in the beginning of Aranya Kanda, Bhagavan Sri Rama picked up a blade of grass and he threw it behind Jayant, and it turned into Brahmastra. So really speaking, if he wanted to just kill this deer, catch this deer, knowing it was a Rakshasa, could he not have just picked up his arrow and thrown it? Theoretically, he could have. But here, he is also fulfilling the desire of his bhakta. His bhakta wants him to run behind him and kill him. So now he has to go running behind him. See the interesting thing. Bhagavan, all the jnanis, they go to Bhagavan Ram. If you see all the rishis and the munis, when Bhagavan Ram is coming, they run to him, they walk to him, they go to him. But Bhagavan Ram walks to go and meet his devotees. He walked to go and meet Kevat. He walked to go and meet Shabari. And in this most strange, wonderful thing, for Marich, he runs behind him to give him moksha. He doesn't just walk, he literally runs behind him. See how he runs. Prabhu Lachim. Oh, before he starts. Prabhu Lachimanahi kaha samujhai. Hirata bipina nisichara bahu bhai. He says, oh, my dear brother. He explained him carefully. He said, look, there are countless Rakshasas roaming around in this forest. Sita keri karehu rakhavari. You please take care of Sitaji. Buddhi bibeka bala samaya bichari. You use your buddhi and your bibeka. You use your intelligence, your discrimination, your thinking, and your strength. All of it you use, and you think about the time, the situation when I go, and then you act accordingly like that, right? So see, Bhagavan Sri Ram is remembering he has pati dharma. His dharma is to take care of his wife. Now he cannot physically be there because he has another dharma to go and do the work of the devatas. But he doesn't neglect that dharma. He leaves Lakshmana in charge. He doesn't omit that and just disappear. He makes sure she's taken care of before he goes. Now, Lakshman must be thinking, why is Bhagavan Ram being so dramatic? Use your buddhi, use your viveka, see the time, and use your strength. And I know there's Rakshasas. I mean, we've fought so many of them. Why are you being so dramatic? Then he also must be thinking, what is wrong with Sitaji? All of a sudden, she wants a deer. Like something is fishy, something is not ordinary. But he doesn't say anything. He just stays quiet, right? You can just imagine what he would be thinking because he doesn't know about Sita, Maya Sita. Then, Nigama, Prabhuhi Piloki, Chala Mriga Bhaji. Now seeing Bhagavan Sri Rama, the deer started to run. And Dhai Ramu Sarasana Saji. Now Bhagavan Sri Ram pulled his bowstring and ran behind him. How blessed Marich was that the Lord of the universe is running behind him to go and give him moksha. I mean, if you have to be a Rakshasa, be that kind of Rakshasa. Bhagavan will come behind you, right? Then, Nigamaneti Sivadhyanana Pava Maya Mriga Pache Sodhava. Uh, that Rama, who the Vedas say neti neti, means he cannot be described, cannot be understood. And Siva Dhyana Pava. And he cannot even be understood by Lord Shiva in his meditation. Means that Rama, that Lord of the universe who is inconceivable. Maya Mriga Pache Sodhava. That inconceivable Bhagavan is running after Marich. See the power of bhakti, right? Then he says, Kabahu nikata puni duri parai. Sometimes this deer would be close and sometimes it would be far. Kabahuka pragatai, kabahu chapai. Sometimes he could see the deer and sometimes it was hidden, like it'll hide behind a tree. The deer is playing with Bhagavan Ram. The deer is making Bhagavan Ram run behind him. Then, tabataki Rama kathina sara mara. Then, Prabhu hi gayo lai duri. In this way, he took Bhagavan Sri Ram far away, right? That was his deal with Ravana, to take Bhagavan Sri Ram far away. Not far enough that Lakshmana couldn't hear when he calls out, but far enough that he's far from the scene, right? Then, when Bhagavan saw that he was far, Tabataki Rama Kathina Saramara. At that time, Bhagavan Sri Rama drew his terrible arrow and hit him. Dharani Pareyu Dari Ghora Pukara. And he fell on the ground with a loud scream, calling loudly. You know, one nice thing that Sant Mahatmas say is that Marich made Bhagavan Sri Ram run behind him because he wanted to see him sweating and tired and, in that form. Because when he had hit him with that arrow, like many, many, many years ago, he was in the middle of a battle, right? So he would have been in that sweaty, heroic form. And so that is the form that was stuck in Marich's mind. And that is the form that had become his Ishta, his favorite form. So he wanted to see that form. It's not written here, but that is what Mahatmas sit and think, why will he make him run so much like that? He wanted to see that form. So this is all, Ramayana is meant for us to read and think and reflect and imagine and all, right? So you imagine this is the relationship he had with this Bhagavan. Then he said, you all know, Lachimana Kara Pratamahi Nama. When he screamed, he called Lakshmana. And it's not written here, but in some other Ramayana it's written that he made it sound like Lakshmana itself, like Lakshmana's actual voice. Then, Pache Sumiresi Mana Mahurama. Then, in his mind, he remembered Bhagavan Sri Rama. Right? The last thing that he did was he remembered Bhagavan. This is what Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 is teaching us. You chant the name of Bhagavan your whole life so you can remember him at the time of your death. And a Rakshasa is able to accomplish that, remembering him at the time of his death. He's not thinking, I can't believe Ravana made me do this. He's only thinking about Bhagavan Ram. Prana tajata pragatesi nijadeha sumiresi Rama sameta saneha. When he was dropping his life, when his life was leaving, he ended up taking his original form. He became Marich again. He didn't die as a golden deer. He took the form of Marich and he died. And it's really interesting. Just a few days ago in chapter 17 class, we were seeing how Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya describes our swabhava, our nature, as that which manifests at the time of our death. Like when we are dying, our true colors come out, right? Means in critical conditions, our true colors show, our true nature shows. So he's at this point, he drops everything that he is not and he becomes who he is. Like that, he dies in front of Bhagavan Ram. Sumeresi Ramu Sameta Saneha. And with great love, he was remembering Ram. This is how he dropped his body. then. You see, that shows that really speaking, we may not have control over our past and who we are as a result of our past and the situations that we find ourselves in, but we have total control about where our mind is at all times. We can be in the most dire situation, but our mind has the capacity to remember Bhagavan. Antara prema tasu pahichana. Now Bhagavan Sri Ram recognized his inner love. He did not see that there's a Rakshasa in front of me. He saw the love that this Rakshasa had in his heart for him. Muni durlabha gati dinhi sujana. And that state which is difficult for munis to get, he gave him that state. He'll tell in the next line what that state was, but that is the state. He gave great state to this Marich. Meaning, outward appearances don't matter. You cannot cheat Bhagavan by going and dressing like a sadhu. you can be an actual Rakshasa and Bhagavan will see what your heart is. Then in the Doha he says, Bipul Sumana, Sura Barashahi, Gavahi Prabhu Ganagatha. Well, if you have been studying Ramayana, this is a very amusing line. The Devatas rained down flowers. This is their favorite pastime, actually. Whenever something goes according to them, they get super excited and then they rain down flowers and they sing and they praise Bhagavan. Actually, I should tell you, if you didn't know, Tulsidasji does not like the Devatas, Indra, Agni, etc. Because they're very selfish. They only think about themselves and they don't think about Bhagavan. They didn't think what Bhagavan is going to go through as a result of them saying, go and kill Ravana for us. They did not think about what Sitaji would go through being separated from Bhagavan Sri Rama. They did not think how much pain Bharatji was going through to, they wanted to stop him and send him back to Ayodhya. They only thought about themselves. And so you have to ask yourself also, means we have to ask ourselves, when we ask Bhagavan for something, are we asking like the Devatas? Means only thinking about ourselves and not thinking about what Bhagavan is going to have to go through? Or are we asking like Bharatji? Means we don't want to say anything that will put Bhagavan in any kind of dharma sankat. Very interesting thing to think about. But anyways, the Devatas were super excited because now Bhagavan Sri Rama has made a first step in the direction of going to kill Ravana. But before that, Nija Pada Deenha Asurakahu Deena Bandhu Raghunatha, our most compassionate Bhagavan Sri Rama, gave his own state to an Asura. He gave Sarupya Mukti to this Marich. So here now Marich finally got moksha. How wonderful. If you study Ramayana, each character that you analyze, you start to wonder which character is greater than which one, because they're all so wonderful. Anybody who loves Bhagavan Sri Rama just is so wonderful, and each of them has their love expressed in their own unique way. And it is showing us that, whoever you are, however you are, whatever your interests are, whatever your limitations are, Bhagavan is waiting for you. And he's going to give you himself in whatever way you want. The only problem is we don't want Bhagavan, right? So that is our problem. Bhagavan is not the problem, we are the problem. Okay, let us chant the next set of chaupais and see what happens now. This is after 27 for those who joined after. Ready? कलबधि तुरत फिरे रघुबीरा सोह चाप कर कटी तुनीरा भारत गिरा सुनी जब सीता कहल मन सन परम सभीता जाहु बेगी संकट अधिभ्राता लक्ष्मण बेहसी कहा सुनु माता प्रकृति बिलास सृष्टि लय होई सपने हु संकट परई की सोई मरम बचन जब सीता बोला हरि प्रेरित लक्ष्मण मन डोला मन दिसि देव सौंपि सब काहू चले जहाँ रावण ससि राहु सुन बीच दस कंधर देखा आवा निकट जटी के बेशा जाके डर सुर असुर निराही निसिन नीद दिन अन्न न खाही सो दस सीस स्वान की नाई इत उत चितई चला भरी आई इमे को पंथ पग देत खगेसा रहा न तेज तन बुद्धि बल लेसा नाना विधि करी कथा सुहाई राजनीति भय प्रीति दिखाई कह सीता सुनु जति गोसाई बोले हु बचन दुष्ट की नाई तब रावण निज रूप दिखावा भई सभय जब नाम सुना कह सीता धरि धीर जुगाढ़ा आई गय प्रभु रघुखल थारा जिमि हरि बधहि क्षुद्र सस छाहा बाईसी काल बस निसि चरना सुनत वचन दस सरसाना मन महु चरण बंदी सुख माना क्रोधवंत रावण दीन सिरत बैठाई चला गगन पथ आतुर भय रथ हाकि न जाय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय लो भाई सब संतन की जय Halabadhi turata phire Raghubira. Having killed this Khala, this wicked person, I mean, because really externally he was a Rakshasa, right? Having killed him, phire Raghubira, Bhagavan Sri Rama returned back to Sitaji. Soha chapa kara kati tu neera. And his beautiful bow was in his hand and his quiver was at his waist. So he killed this Rakshasa outwardly and now he heads back. Now you're like, oh yeah, something's going on over there too. What's going on over there? Arata gira suni jaba Sita. When Sitaji heard that call of distress, she heard Rama's voice saying, Lakshmana, Lakshmana, right? Kaha Lachimana sana paramasabhita, with great fear. Now she said to Lakshmana, Jahu begi, sankata ati bhrata. You go quickly. Your brother is in danger. He's in peril. Lachimana behasi. In response, Lakshmana laughed. When somebody is afraid and they tell you, please go, is that the time to laugh? That was not a right reaction, actually. It was quite an inappropriate reaction for the time. He said, Kaha sunu mata. He said, listen, oh mother. But first he laughed. His initial reaction was laughter because it just sounded so ridiculous that she was saying, Bhagavan Sri Rama needs help. How does Bhagavan Rama need help? Just like yesterday, he killed 14,000 Rakshasas and Karadushana, and we were just chilling under a cave. Like we were just sitting here doing nothing, and he killed everybody himself. And now you're saying he needs help? Like it sounded so ridiculous to Lakshmana. But it came out at the wrong time. And that is why it is so important to be careful of our speech. Our speech is not just verbal, it is also non-verbal. Now he justifies, he says, Brikuti bilasa srishti laya hoi. By just like a raising of his eyebrows for fun, You raise your eyebrows like, oh, what's up, what's up? I can't do it. Like some people can raise their eyebrows. Just like in play. He just moves his eyebrows and like Brahmandas are created and Brahmandas are destroyed. Means are manifested and unmanifested. He's so powerful, you know? Sapanehu sankata parai ki soy. In dream also, can there be any peril for him? Can he be in any danger, really? Like that, he's really nothing can happen to him, you know? Marama bachana jaba Sita bola. Sitaji responded. And Tulsidashi just skipped her whole response. And all he says is, when Sitaji spoke those secret words, those piercing words, means Sitaji said something to him that was really not nice. Tulsidashi doesn't give it. It is given in some other Ramayans. Really not nice. No need to read it also. Just know it was not nice. When Sitaji said those words that were really not nice, Lakshmanji's mind, Lachi mana dola. Lakshmanji's mind was shaken. How? Hari Prerita. The will of Bhagavan Hari. Some greater force is there because of which she spoke like this and he got affected. Normally he wouldn't be affected, but he got affected. This is what happens when a desire is thwarted. She shows. She got angry. Kamat krodho bijayate. From desire comes anger. Now, Lakshmanji's mind is shaken. And this is to remind us that, Bhagavan Sri Ram reminded him, you need to use your buddhi, your viveka, your bala, right? You need to think about the situation. But in life, this is what happens to us. Things are going to come and they're going to throw us off balance. And the test is, at that time, can we maintain our buddhi, our bala, our viveka? Most of the time, the answer is no. Okay? But in Lakshman's case, it was happening because of some greater force. Now see how beautiful Tulsidasji's communication behind the lines is. He said, Marama bachana jaba Sita bola. Bola, the word is actually Sita boli, right? Because feminine, for those who are familiar with Hindi and Awadhi. But he wrote bola. Means Sitaji spoke out of character. It was not normal. Even the grammar is reflecting that something wrong is going on. That some out of character situation is happening in this prasanga. So what did Lakshmanji do now? He had no choice. She spoke in such a way that he had to leave and he had to go and see Bhagavan Ram. Bana disi deva sampi sabakahu. He handed over Sitaji to the devatas of the forest. And he said to them, you please take care of Sitaji. And chale jahan Ravana sasi rahu. And he went to Bhagavan Ram. But see the name Tulsidashi writes for Rama, Ravana sasi rahu. The Rahu for the moon of Ravana. Normally Bhagavan Sri Ram is Ramachandra, right? He's the moon. But now Ravana is the moon. And he's the Rahu who's going to eat up the moon. You know that Puranic story is there, right? He's going to eclipse Ravana. Then he went. Now, please see, over here, Tulsidashi does not mention anything about Lakshman Rekha. You all would have heard, I don't think there's anybody who doesn't know Lakshman Rekha, right? Everyone knows he drew a Lakshman Rekha and he said, don't cross this line, right? Here it's not given. It will be in some other Ramayana, some other thing. But the significance of that, the Lakshman Rekha symbolizes the boundaries of dharma that we should not transgress. Once we stay within the boundaries of dharma, we are protected. Outside the boundaries of dharma, we're on our own. And our first victim means we are the victim, our first attacker. What's the opposite of victim? Our first attacker is Ravana. Ravana is symbolic of our ego. Our ego is the first thing that comes in, captures and kidnaps us. So now, Lakshmana has gone, Bhagavan Sri Rama has gone. Now, Suna Bicha Dasakandhara Dekha. Now, Ravana sees that the coast is clear. Ava Nikata Jati Ke Besha. Now he took the form of a sannyasi and he came near Sitaji. This shows the form that he chose of a sannyasi. It shows the greatness of a sannyasi, that anybody can go to Sitaji if they're a sannyasi, like that, right? Now see Tulsidasji's description. Jake dara sura asura de rahi. Because of fear of whom even the devatas and asuras are afraid, right? Devatas and asuras are afraid of this Ravana. Nisi na nida dina annana kahi. At the night, they cannot sleep properly out of fear of Ravana. And in the daytime, they cannot eat properly out of fear of Ravana. This Ravana, so dasasisa, this 10-headed Ravana, svanaki nai, like a dog, ita uta chitai, chala bhari ahi. Like a dog, he goes to steal or kidnap Sitaji. What a description Tulsidasji gives. He looks here and there, and like a dog, he goes to kidnap her. You know, this shows the power of adharma, not power, weakness. I mean, you know what I mean, the weakness of adharma, what adharma does to a person. Means they can show power externally. He can make the devatas and asuras scared of him, but it makes you so weak inside. Right? Imi kupantha pagadeta khagesa rahana teja tana buddhi bala lesa. Now our khagesa means Kakabhushundiji is speaking to Garudji. He's the narrator in this section. And he says, the moment that somebody takes a step in the bad path, means in the wrong direction towards wickedness, their, what is it? Rahana teja tana buddhi bala lesa. Their tej, their brilliance, their intelligence, their strength completely disappears. This is what happens when you move in the direction of adharma. When someone starts to do something wrong, they cannot see their impending destruction at all. Then, Nana Bidhi Kari Katha Suhai. Now, in various ways, Ravana started to tell stories to Sitaji. Means he tried to impress her. Rajaniti Bhaya Preeti Dekhai. He talked politics also, and he exhibited fear, and he tried to exhibit or show or express affection and love as well. It means he must have said, oh, beautiful lady, or something he would have said. Kaha Sita, Sunu Jati Gosai. Oh, Sitaji said, listen, oh Lord, oh great sannyasi, like that. She's referring to him. Bolehu bachana dushta kinai. You're speaking words like a wicked person. She didn't insult the sannyasi. She insulted the words that were being spoken. See the reverence that is given in this tradition to sannyasis and sadhus? She did not insult the sadhu. She insulted the words that were not befitting of the role of the sadhu. That is like they say hate the sinner, they hate the sin, not the sinner. But it goes together, right? I mean, you can't expect over here if you see a pandit selling rum. They're supposed to be saying Ram, not selling rum. That thing doesn't fit, right? So it's not befitting of a sannyasi to speak like this. So she said, the words you're speaking are like a wicked person. So she identifies right away something going on here. Taba Ravana nija rupa dekhava. Then Ravana showed his true form. He removed his sannyasi vesh and bhai sabhaya jaba nama sunava. And Sitaji became afraid when she found out this was Ravana. You know, sometimes you could be sitting to like next to the biggest criminal and you have no idea. And then, because you don't know what they look like or sound like or anything. But only when you know who they are, you're like, oh my God. Right? So like that. So now she knows who he is and then she gets scared. Kaha Sita. Now see, now she gets scared, but she speaks. Kaha Sita dhari dhiraju garha. She gathers great courage and she speaks to him. Ai gayau, Prabhu, Rahu Khala Thara. My Bhagavan Sri Ram is almost back here, you know? You just stay right there, you wicked person. You stay standing right there, she tells him. Ravana was just introduced as the one who the Devas and Asuras, everybody is afraid of. But Sitaji gathers courage and she speaks to him and she says, you wicked person, you stay right where you are. Right? Jimmy Hari Badhu hi Chudra Sasa Chaha Bhay Si Kala Basa Nisichara Naha. She said, it is like you're coming to me like a rabbit is coming and wants a lion. Like a rabbit is trying to come and get a lioness. That is how you are approaching me. Hmm? And she says, your death is near, you king of Rakshasas. Means you're like an ordinary rabbit. You think you can get me? You may be king of lions in your world, right? Means you might be the lion in your world of Rakshasas, but here you're just a rabbit. And you know, if you go back to Ayodhya Kanda, you will see Sitaji uses this exact line with Bhagavan Sri Ram when she's making her case for him to bring her. She says, who will dare come near me when I am with you? Like a rabbit can try to approach a lion or what? This exact line she uses. And it comes again over here like this, right? Now, so this is what she says to Ravana. You know, when you watch like the serials and all of that, Sitaji is portrayed as this weak, frail, need to be taken care of, need to be felt sorry for woman. But if you read Ramayana, Sitaji's strength is unmatched. Who can talk to Ravana like that? Even the Devatas are scared of him, and Sitaji's like, hey, you stay right where you are. Don't you dare come here. Sitaji is super powerful. You know, you talk about, what is it called? Woman power. You see it right here in Sitaji. Hmm? Now, Ravana hears that, and he's not used to be talked to like this. Sunata Bachana, Dasasi Sarisana. Hearing these words, now this 10-headed Ravana got angry. Mana Mahucharana, Bandhi Sukha Mana. And a really weird line comes here. He heard these words and he got angry. That's one reaction. But in his mind, he bowed down to her feet and he felt happy. It's an extremely confusing line. Like, wait, what? Where did that come from? But actually, I mean, the point is, one is Rakshasa Swabhava is very confusing. You cannot understand a Rakshasa, right? Forget Rakshasa. Our Swabhava is very confusing. We have contrary feelings all the time, isn't it? Constant contrary feelings are there in our heart. Sometimes we love Bhagavan, sometimes we don't like Bhagavan. Means sometimes we don't like to do what's good for us. Sometimes we want to do what is good for us, right? Contrary feelings, contrary experiences we have all the time. This kind of thing demonstrates the contradiction, the inherent contradiction that is there in our personality. There are countless interpretations for this. One is that he bowed to her feet because she was his ticket to him being killed by Bhagavan Rama and getting moksha. You can think and see what you come up with for yourself, but there are endless interpretations. Now in the Doha Tulsidasji says, Krodavanta tabaravana leen hisi ratha baitai. Now full of anger, Ravana took her and put her in the chariot and made her sit in the chariot. So now it's not his inner bhakti that is expressing, it is his outer anger that has taken over him. He forcibly takes her and puts her in the chariot. In this Ramayana, there's no mention about the fact that he didn't touch her. There are some Ramayans that say, different people say, he didn't touch her. She stepped out of the Lakshman Rekha. He had a whole conversation with her and said, I'm a sadhu. You have to bring the bhiksha to me. So many stories are there. Tulsidasji doesn't present it like this. Very simply, he goes and he takes her like that. Chala gaganapatha atura. Quickly, he went on the aerial route. Means he got into his aeroplane and he started to fly, right? Bhaya ratha haki najai. But because of his fear, he could not ride that aeroplane, that Viman properly. Meaning, fear that Lakshmana and Rama might come back, fear that Sitaji might jump out. It's not like our now time planes. The Viman portrayed was like an open one, like a chariot that flies, right? Um, when you're doing something wrong, fear is there. Sitaji had the power of dharma on her side, and she was fearless. Ravana was doing adharma, and there was fear. Outwardly, you may show whatever, but when there is adharma, there is no strength of the personality, right? Ravana shows very clearly the consequence of following the wicked path, right? I mean, he is going to think about Bhagavan constantly, and so he's going to get moksha. But that path is filled with so much pain and suffering. You can choose that path if you want. You take the painful path, remember Bhagavan all the time out of hate. But why do that when you can have love for him? It just doesn't make sense. Okay. Now see Sitaji. Sitaji had said she will never ask for anything except Bhagavan Ram. She told Bhagavan Ram when he was coming to the forest, "You cannot leave me in Ayodhya. I don't want anything except you." And she meant it. But then what happened? Her mind became extrovert and it got captivated by this golden deer. And that is when all the trouble started. This golden deer represents in our life, we all have a golden deer in our life, by the way. That golden deer is the illusion of happiness in sense objects. When we look at sense objects and we think that they're going to make us happy, that is our golden deer. So really what you can do is you can go to a printing shop and print like 100 golden deer and cut them out. And all the sense objects that you think are going to give you happiness, you stick that golden deer on them. And every time you look to get happiness from it, you're like, oh, golden deer. Oh, okay, never mind. We actually did that with the kids in one camp. Right? But see, the deer, the nature of the deer is to run fast. He hides and shows itself and all of that, right? You know, another thing that runs fast like that is money. Money runs fast like anything. The other thing in today's day that runs fast, literally, is scrolling. You know, the reels that run through your fingers? There's such an illusory sense of happiness, but it catches everybody. It used to be just teenagers and college students, but now aunties and uncles and grandparents and everybody is caught in this scrolling world. It's a terrible disease that has caught everybody. It is a golden deer. It is an illusion of happiness, and it really runs. And it tempts us, and it makes us do things that are uncharacteristic of us, right? So Sitaji showed brooding, dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. She thought about how each part of the deer was so beautiful. Sangas teshu pajayate. Then she developed attachment for it. Oh, it is so wonderful. Then sang- sangat sanjayate kamaha. Out of attachment was born a desire. If I don't get this deer, I'm not going to be okay. Therefore, I'm going to send my current deer to go and get it for me. My Bhagavan Ram, who I said I never want to leave me, I'm going to get him to go and get it for me. That was desire. When the desire was being thwarted, when Lakshmana said, no, Rama doesn't need my help, the result was kamat krodho bijayate. She became angry. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. Sammohaha is upside down thinking. Now she started to think Lakshmana has bad intentions. That Lakshmana who's looking at her like a mother. She started to think Bhagavan Rama needs help. That Rama whose blink of an eye will manifest and dissolve universes. Then she thought Ravana was a sadhu, right? So many things happened as a result of just this one thinking, oh, how beautiful this deer is. It continues. You'll see Smriti Vipramaha, Buddhinashaha still has to come, right? So Sitaji is playing it out for us to see what happens in slow motion. She's playing it out for what happens in an instant when we pursue things in the world for happiness. So we'll pause here because if we get into the next section, Aranya Kanda, the dohas are very interesting. You'll see long section, and then you'll see a super short section all of a sudden, and then long sections, and you can never predict. The forest is unpredictable. So is the length of each section in this Aranya Kanda. So we'll chant and you'll be like, it's not done yet, it's not done yet. That's how this Kanda goes. What to say? Every Kanda has its own charm. Right? So we'll pause here and then next. So now Sitaji has been kidnapped, officially kidnapped. Now Sitaji is going to express her feelings as a result of being kidnapped. And Jatayuji is going to come, and you all know what happens in that story. So, but we'll see there's a difference between knowing the story and seeing how it unfolds in Tulsidasji's words. You cannot, there's no justice done in knowing the story versus seeing how Tulsidasji presents it. It just brings to light so much more that allows us to think about our own life. Right? So pause here. I will do closing prayer. And then we have a few minutes. I'll open up if anyone wants to share any reflections. At the end of class, we usually do this. There's an opportunity if anyone wants to share any thoughts from satsang, anything they thought of, anything they want to think about some more, like that, and then we'll close. But it's optional. You don't have to. You don't have to stay also for it. So we'll do closing prayer, and then you can leave. Oh, let me tell one announcement. Two announcements. Tomorrow, Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 will start here at the ashram and online for anyone who's interested in studying Bhagavad Gita from the beginning, introduction and chapter 1 onwards. Devji will be starting from the very beginning. If you've been coming to the 108 nights, then good, you get to study it again. And if you haven't come for the 108 nights, then good, you get to study it. So both ways it is good, right? So that will be starting tomorrow, 7 to 8 p.m. every Thursday. Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, and then on and on and on. Then on Monday, Sadhana Panchakam will start. Sadhana Panchakam is a short text of 5 verses that summarizes the spiritual journey of a Hindu, actually, in 40 sadhanas. So if that is something you're interested in, again, we'll have it live at the ashram and we'll stream it online for anyone who wants to join. Okay, it just all the classes are on the community group, and you can just let us know if you're not on the group and you want to join. All right. It's really nice to be back in class. I have missed Ramayana tremendously, and I have missed a lot of you that I'm seeing now, and I'm happy to have the rest of you who are joining for the first time join. Welcome to Ramayana. It's been a 6-year journey, and we look forward to many more years to come. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Shri Satgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Oh, we got an upgrade from Toronto to Guyana. We have Dolak now accompanying. So